On today's video, we're going to replace the Supercharger tensioner pulley on my Audi A6. So if it's something you want to learn how to do, follow along. Welcome back to Garage Taught, everybody. As always, my name is Cameron, and on today's DIY, like I said, we're going to be doing the Supercharger tensioner pulley on my Audi A6 3.0T. I've got the German Performance Solutions upgraded pulley that they sent over to me to install in this and do a little bit of testing on and to show you guys. It's an OEM tensioner, but it's got an upgraded metal pulley that your Supercharger is actually, the belt is going to run on. And if you know anything about these, the plastic ones, they can chip, they get brittle over time. So this is a great upgrade if you're doing this job. Stay with me to the end and I'll explain exactly why you want to replace your Supercharger tensioner pulley and some issues that a failing one can cause you, but we're going to go ahead and jump into the DIY, starting with the parts. Let's talk about the tools we're going to need. Triple squares. If you work on a Volkswagen Audi, you should have this set, but I think we're going to be using an M10 for this one. You're going to need a T27 Torx bit of some kind. You're going to need a wrench, socket wrench. You're going to need this one. This is the one that's going to shine. This is a serpentine belt wrench or belt tool, whatever you want to call it. You can get these at any auto parts store, but I'll have a link for this in the description. But the big thing is you want this guy right here. This is a stubby 16 millimeter socket, and this one, especially on the C7, comes in clutch. If you have a B8, it still works. It just is a little tighter, but still, get the stubby 16 mil. Besides that, I got some gloves over here, got our normal tools, and we're gonna go ahead and pop this air dam off first. That way we can access everything we're working on. All right, I got my impact with my Torx bit, and it's extended here. It's just two T25s for my car at least on each side of this, so we're gonna remove these two things. When I get these out, I like to just gently thread these back into the air dam so I don't lose them, and then I'll set this somewhere off to the side. I'm just gonna set this up here in the engine bay. All right, we got our bird's eye view into the engine bay here. I'm going to show this as best I can. You can see my pulley that I'm going to be going for, the tensioner. That's where our 16 millimeter stubby is going to come in. So for the C7, we got a little bit more room, and I'm going to come in sideways between, I guess this is the control module for the fan. I'm going to get it right over top of the socket or the bolt I need to get to, and then I'm just going to rotate it, which kind of pushes that fan out, and then I lock in, and now it's on that pulley. And from there, I can go ahead and bring tension off of my belt. And what I'm going to do, get my light situated again here for you guys. I'm going to take that tension off, and we don't pull the belt off of here, and this difficulty is going to be determined by what pulley setup you have, but we're not going to pull the belt off of the Supercharger pulley. We're going to pull it off of the idler pulley because it's smooth. We got the tension off. We just come in here and we slide it off of the pulley there, and then that gives us a lot more room to slide it off of the Supercharger pulley. And then we can just move this out of the way. After you've got that removed and you got your belt removed, first, inspect your Supercharger belt. Great time to replace it while you're in there. 2, get your car up on jack stands. You're gonna have to get underneath there and pull off the cover that blocks you from getting to the bottom of the engine from underneath. So go ahead, get under there, remove that skid plate because we have to access the bolt of this tensioner from underneath the car. I figured I'd zoom in from the top of the engine to give you guys a look at where we're working. So right now you can see the empty tensioner pulley, the black one. And then behind it, you can see the metal one, and I should hopefully have an arrow here pointing to the one we're working on. You cannot access it from the top unless you were in service position, but we're going underneath. So we're going to get underneath there and we're going to reach up there and basically just disconnect it. There should be no issue there. There is a pin thing that you can use to hold it together, but since there's no tension, we don't need to do that. So we're just going to get under there and try and get our wrench in there to loosen it up, and it should just loosen and pull right out. We are under the car now, and I wanted to give you just another look at what we are working on here. It is an M10, and so you have plenty of room to get up there. I'm holding my phone and doing this, but you got plenty of room to get this on a wrench and get it up there. So I'm going to go and get it situated in there, and then I'll show you what it looks like. Okay, so I'm underneath here, and you can see I don't have it perfectly straight on, and that's just because the back of my wrench is hitting my fan shroud here. Now, all we have to do is loosen that bolt a little bit and just get it started, and you should be able to unthread it by hand. If you want to put your car in service position, you absolutely can, but there's other ways to get up there and get this in there. So find what works for you. Don't strip the bolt, obviously. It's not torqued down super tight, so we're just going to go ahead and we're just loosening it a little bit. Real quick, let's add another tool to the list of things you're going to want for this job. A pair of long nose vice grips. These came in clutch just now. Basically, there's not a whole lot of room between the bolt you're removing and the fan shroud, especially if you're working on a B8. Even on the C7, I didn't have enough room to keep the triple square in there to back it out enough where I could undo it by hand because it's pretty tight. So I got one of these, got it on the head of bolt, and I just sat there on my back, backing it out with these. So I'll have a link in the description below in the pinned comment for you to grab one of these. If you don't have one already, definitely grab it for the job. Okay, so before I get too far out and I put too much pressure on this, I'm going to use my crowbar once again and gently apply pressure so I can get this off, because now it should be loose enough that I can come up here and grab it with my fingers and unscrew it. So that's what I'm gonna do, and I should be able to pull this bolt out, and I'll show you what it looks like. Okay, we got the OEM pulley off. You can see it's dirty, old, This plastic here, like I said, it's very easy to chip this. I've actually broken one in the past. I've got the bolt out. One thing, I'm gonna clean up this bolt. It's all cruddy. I've got some old Loctite on there. We're gonna put a little bit more blue Loctite on there. One other really important thing, once you get this off, you're gonna see the face of your engine is really, really dirty. Try and clean that up because you don't wanna make your new pulley to a cruddy, dirty surface area. So get in there with some brake clean and like a brass brush and clean that up real good. The other thing to pay close attention to, and you probably saw it as you take this off, on the back of both of these, you've got these little nipples here on each of them, and that is because there's a indentation on the engine block that sets into, and that's how you know you have it aligned correctly. This one comes with a pin here that's going to hold it in tension. You can see this doesn't have it. If you look closely, those are aligned. These are not, but you can pull that out once you get this in there. But I'm going to go ahead and clean up the surface of the engine. I'm going to clean up this bolt, and we're going to go back in there, and you just reverse install this. I don't know off the top of my head what the torque is, but I'm going to put that on the screen for you to see. Cool. We've got the bolt all cleaned up. Looks nice and shiny and new. Got some blue Loctite on there. And remember, you don't have to lather the whole bolt in it, just enough of the threads to go into the engine. And you can see it's just the very end of it there. But what we're going to do, get back under there, put it in. I'm not filming the process of putting it back in there. It's exactly the opposite of how you got the OEM one out. So we're going to go and get it in there. Torque setting, once again, should be on the screen here. I got to look it up before I crawl underneath the car. But once I'm done putting the car back together, I will talk to you guys about some signs of a failing tensioner and just the importance of making sure you have a nice fresh tensioner on there. There we go. Everything is put back together, torqued down, and ready to roll. All right, before we wrap this video up, let's talk about signs of a failing tensioner pulley. Number one, the biggest one is going to be belt slip. If you find that you're having belt slip and you've replaced your belt, it's appropriately sized for the pulley setup that you have, but you're still experiencing it, that's a pretty good sign that your tensioner pulley is wearing out and it's time to upgrade it. Two, if you see imperfections in the actual black pulley of the OEM one, the plastic one, if you see pieces chipped or missed, definitely want to replace it so that you don't have any issues with your belts going forward being damaged by those, sharp edges if they do break. And then three, if you hear a noise, like a pulley noise from the engine, something like that, and you isolate it to that pulley, that's a good sign it's wearing out and a good time to upgrade. And when it is time to upgrade, go ahead and get the GPS pulley. It comes with that nice anodized metal pulley that will never chip on you guys, and it should last you another 100,000 miles bare minimum, because remember, the actual pulley itself is an OEM Audi pulley. So shout out to GPS for sending this over. It's awesome, fits perfectly, went in great. This job should maybe take you guys a total hour and a half, maybe 2 hours if you're taking your time. It's not that bad. The worst part for me is getting the belt back on all the time. I can't stand it. I don't envy the B8 guys. That's even less room to do it, but you can do it without service position if you try hard, believe in yourself. Anyways, if you guys like what you saw, like and subscribe, leave a comment below, let me know what you want to see next, and we'll see you on the next DIY video.